the liberty movement in this country. The liberty movement put them on the map. And I'm not even saying they're bad people. I'm reserving judgment. But 90+% of my listeners are very upset and feel betrayed. I mean, it's one thing if you're being threatened, just get out of politics. If you're going to give in to fear, don't bring all your people like Judas Iscariot, like a Judas goat in for the slaughter. I mean, again, okay, Obama's bad. We're going to feel like winners by going for Mitt Romney, and it's all the same joke over and over again. It's so childlike. They trick you to make you think you've got a choice so that, oh, you're like a winner. And it's that idea that keeps us bound in bondage. Sean, Eric, Mark, Jessica, Carl, Mark, Kevin, Lone Star, John, Joe, we're going to get to all of you. Sean in Chicago, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, buddy, I love you, but I disagree with you on this.
You like Mitt Romney, huh?
No, I don't like Mitt Romney, but now Ron Paul, I've met him in Iowa. I met Ron Paul in Kentucky. I trust him. I don't know what they're up to, but I'm not going to throw away everything they've done just because they endorse
they've done. What about what I know? Individual Americans are crap nowadays, but what about what we've done? What about we have our view? I mean, sir, do you really know how bad Mitt Romney is? I mean, he might as well be Obama.
Idea. I agree with you, but I'm not going to throw them away because they did something I don't know all the details about.
Well, here's the problem. It's so concerted, though, and making their people think they were going to win with delegates, and I would tell people that wasn't the case, and then saying, okay, now be respectful. We're not going to win with the delegates now. It's all concerted. I don't like playing politics with people that love liberty. Okay, I know how hard people worked, man. I want the Pauls to know I'm angry about this.
Can I make a suggestion? Why don't you call them on the air, see if they'll come on, and then light them up?
Okay.
You don't like the answer.
I'm not going to light them up. The problem is I intended to come on here and say, let's just watch and see, but then I really start saying what I believe. Here's the deal. There is no censorship here. There is no filter. I cannot help it. Okay? I even had guests on today that were going to come on. I'm going to do it later in the week, and I wanted to wait just because I've sat and thought about this a lot. I wrote all these notes that I was going to cover on air. I didn't get to them. It just makes me so angry. Listen, we don't need to be co-opted. This is not the Pauls taking over the Republican Party, which I would support. I'd support taking over the Democratic Party. This is the establishment. I've seen their rhetoric change. I've seen a lot of other things happen that people have pointed out to me that I said, well, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt, that now really upset me. I'm sorry, sir. I just lost that caller's audio. Can you guys feed me his audio? Try it again. Go ahead, sir.
Alex, is it out of character for him? Is this out of character?
Yes, this is completely out of the Paul's character.
That's what I'm thinking. If this is out of character, then I got to say that it's not as bad as it seems.
But it's out of character before about 6 months ago. Now it's totally in character of the whole establishment move. I mean, have you seen some of the people that they've been endorsing with Campaign for Liberty? It's like mainline neocons, man, CFR people.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have some secret agreement to abolish the Fed. I don't know. But it seems out of character.
By the way, its charter comes up next year. They're probably going to abolish it in name and give us something even worse. All right, sir, I hear you. I hope you're right. I appreciate your call. I'm going to try to come back and go really fast to the callers. And I'm having technical difficulties. I don't know if the people on air were hearing him, but he'd be loud, and then he'd go almost down to no audio and then come back. That may have been that caller's phone. But we're going to continue unscreened right to your calls to see what you think about all this. We've had 2 calls that say, hey, let's give them a chance. On the comments, it's like 95%. Votes I've seen are 96%. People do not like what they heard. I mean, maybe I should play him saying, I support, I'm endorsing Mitt Romney. I mean, there's no point in that. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control. All right, we're into the second hour. Big data dump of key news and information. World government out in the open coming up at the bottom of the hour. I'm also going to play a 6-minute compilation of Mitt Romney flip-flopping all over the place. Now, again, I like Rand Paul. I've love Ron Paul and his voting record, exposing the New World Order. My concern is Mitt Romney was the worst of all the Republican candidates. I mean, he's really bad. He is a deceiver. Whenever he voted, it was for gun bans, open borders, carbon taxes, wrote Obamacare, banker bailouts. And it's just like the Obama supporters. They didn't like Bush, and I don't blame them. They wanted to believe that things were going to change. It didn't. The same interests that own Obama own Mitt Romney. You're going to get the same poison fruit off that tree. You will know them by their works, not their rhetoric. And Mitt Romney has been caught lying more than Bill Clinton. And again, people are like, well, what do we do then? You just admit the whole thing's shot and a fraud. You don't let them play you off over and over again. And just imagine a year ago if I would have said Rand Paul is going to endorse Mitt Romney. You would have said I was crazy. And now he's done it. I mean, should I play that clip? People are actually calling me going, is that really true? Yes, it's up on Infowars.com. He did it on Hannity last Thursday night. He said, I'm supporting Mitt Romney because he's a great guy. And we share a lot of the same views. Really? What are those? You mean his new views that he never had before? Presidents are puppets now. What the globalists that have conquered this country through fraud and are trying to fully conquer it down at the grassroots want, they get. What you see out of Bush and Obama is what the offshore banks want. I mean, come on, this is childlike. The media makes it all about how the president's the big guy and the buck stops there. So you'll blame them. So every 4 to 8 years, they can put a new puppet in. And we're not going to turn this country around if we're not honest about that. I hate Obama's guts, and I don't like Mitt Romney. I bet I'm going to hate Mitt Romney if he gets in after I watch all his treason. Obama lied about everything he said he'd do. How did I know he'd do it? Because of who paid him, who his advisors were. Same thing here. What do we do then? I mean, we got to take one option. Are we going to be in duels with muskets or with handguns? You know, they're both handguns. It's both a big joke. And then Ron Paul saying, oh, we have now, we're not going to win the delegates now. After they maxed out the donations, maxed out the grassroots, knowing 3-4 months ago they weren't going to win. I mean, that's why I couldn't get up here and really promote all this. I was like, no, it's over. And I don't like watching a bunch of political operatives, including big, high-level mainline Republican operatives that work for both these guys now, in there. Look, I've given money to Ron Paul and Rand Paul. I get now Republican fundraising letters from every Republican out there, basically, because they sold the list, folks. I mean, it's just a full-on merger with the mainline Republicans. If you like all the New World Order stuff you get out of the Republicans that are letting NATO and the UN command our military, that aren't fighting Agenda 21, that are going along, that try to give you amnesty like Bush did, if you liked Bush, you're going to love Mitt Romney. And I told all these Democrats, hey, if you don't like Bush, you're going to not like Obama. Oh, but you will because you think he's your guy. It's all about this fake fantasy that the politician is really your daddy and that you supported him, so you're with the president. You're an idiot if you think like that. It's so childlike. I'm sick of it. And I meant to just come up here today and say, well, we've got to analyze this more. Doesn't look good. I've seen some other troubling signs, but let's encourage them to stay true. They know exactly what they're doing. This is a full-on wedding to Mitt Romney. Might as well have Rand Paul out there in a big white dress with him and taking us along with him. Well, I ain't getting in bed with Mitt Romney, okay? That's what this is. This is a divorce. You keep going down this road, I'm getting out of here, okay? Period. Okay? And I'm free. I'm allowed to say that. Sorry to sacrilege the great God. Let's go ahead and talk to Jesse in Illinois, and then Carl, Mark, Kevin, Lone Star, and others. Go ahead, Jesse, you're on the air. Come on air, brother. You're on the air. Go ahead. I can't hear that caller. Our phone. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air.
Oh.
Go ahead.
This is Eric from the hemp revolution is starting right now. We got the Hemp History Week. This is the last day. We just had Rand Paul endorse this new amendment to this hemp bill. He's endorsing it when Romney is acting like he doesn't know what hemp is when someone confronted him. This is
yes, that's some good news that they are trying to decriminalize marijuana, not so that they don't have a federal excuse to SWAT team everybody's house. I think that's great.
But I have some key news I need to tell you. There's this Global Cannabis Commission that
Sir, I'm not taking calls on cannabis. We're not screening your calls, but you don't call in and talk about how you want to smoke pot all day. They're putting about that. Shut up! Hang up on him. And listen, I'm going to stop taking calls here in a minute if this goes on because the phone system is all scrambled. I mean, it's up and down, okay? You know what? All right, Mark in Austin, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, what's happening, brother?
I'm angry, man, and I'm tired of people calling up so stoned they can hardly talk. Go ahead.
Can I give you some good news, brother?
Yeah, what's that?
Well, everything's about to change, man, because everyone who looked up to Rand Paul and Ron Paul, like Ron Paul's a great guy, but Rand Paul was never Ron Paul. He's always been Rand Paul, and you are a very astute person when it comes to studying history, brother. And one of the things that you should know is that every time a regime like this one has come upon in history, there's always been good people who've pretended to be good people and who've really been good people, and they've always been flipped by the system. And they always will be.
Hey, buddy, like I don't want to hear about they may have been threatened. I've had them call up and tell me what we were talking about and death threat me. I mean, I've had the criminals that masquerade as government do that, and I didn't back off, so I don't want to hear they got threatened. Exactly. What do you make of what do you make of this? Hold on a second. What do you make of this? Should I be happy? Should I like Mitt Romney?
No way, man. But here's the thing. I'm not telling you to like Mitt Romney. I'm saying I'm surprised that you're as surprised as you are by what happened with Rand Paul, because the system has so many different ways to flip people. They can flip people 1,000 different ways. It's not just threats. I'm not saying threats. I'm saying one of the million ways that they could flip somebody. Trust me, man. I quit the Republican Party when I was working for them, and they tried to force me to volunteer for George W. Bush, who I hated. So I said no. That's when I quit the Republican Party. Then I quit the Democratic Party when they hired me, and I realized that it was all one. It's all a sham. Why should you even be eligible to work for both parties?
No, I hear you, and God bless you. And again, I'm sorry I blew up earlier at everybody. The phone system, because I can barely hear the callers, and the computer is having problems. We should have rebooted it before the show is the main reason I'm getting angry here. I just, we got so many problems. I'm sick of hearing about marijuana all day. Okay? I mean, it's one of my hot button issues is that I'm for decriminalization. I understand the criminal elements want it illegal to have higher prices on it, but at a certain point, I'm sick of it. Carl in New Jersey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Alice? Thank you for taking my call, man. When I heard Rand Paul say what he said about Mitt Romney, I wanted to throw up. I could not believe that he did that. It's a disgrace to all the delegates that worked so hard. They got beat up by Romney's supporters, all the shenanigans that they did. And then to support Mitt Romney over this after all that happened, I think it's a joke.
I totally agree with you. And look.
I just wanted to throw up when we heard what he said. It's a joke. At least he could have even maybe waited until after the Tampa convention. I think I could have let it go then. But to do it before the convention, what is he going to do? Is he going to walk into the Tampa convention and support Mitt Romney over his father?
Exactly. Listen. While they were stringing everybody along in emails just 2 weeks ago, we're going to win with the delegates. We're going to win with the delegates. And the same day his dad's like, well, we're not going to win with the delegates now. And I was telling people, look at it mathematically. They wanted to keep that all hyped up. But it's worse than that. If Rand would have come out and said, I disagree with Romney on the carbon taxes and other issues, but I'm going to try to, influence him, and I believe he's better than Obama, and given some case, it wouldn't have been as bad. But it was done purely, and it just confirms that his dad was softballing Romney in the debates, and I defended that, and it's all true.
When did Romney ever say he wanted to audit the Fed? Rand said that Romney told him that he believes in auditing the Fed. Romney has never said that. He said the opposite.
I'm going to play a clip of that coming up. I know that, again, another point. I'm going to play the clip after your calls. I'm going to take some blood pressure medicine.
Hi, this is...
All right, we're back, folks.